big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. This new year, get clean, quality, pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list, including Ritual's best-selling Essential Prenatal Multivitamin, designed with 12 traceable key ingredients to support a healthy pregnancy. With big changes coming up, take the small steps now and start today with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. But for those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sack News. Sack News.
Radio.
Sack News. Sack News.
Radio.
Sack.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
In America.
Into the silo.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show, live on the SHR Media Network. It is the 21st of June, 2017. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, sitting from my left is the
Big Nose himself.
biggest nose in the biz.
Right.
As I like to call it, old hunker himself,
That's right.
Sackhead Clint.
I'm here with a bird's eye view and a beak to match.
And the only man in the room who is a very, very middle-aged man when the jitterbug was still famous throughout this world.
Right.
The bloviating Zeppelin himself, BZ, sitting over there to my right. Good evening, sir.
What do you mean?
He means you're old. And sitting to my right is the one and only Sackhead Sean, our partner in crime.
Yes.
By the way, I had to wear an awesome shirt.
Because we shot somebody down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's in reference to, obviously, it's for those of you that can't see, it's Iceman's helmet from Top Gun.
Great
Wait a minute. Wasn't he
shirt.
killed?
Iceman.
Yeah,
no, that
you're
was
thinking of
Goose.
Goose.
You're
Goose.
thinking of Goose.
Okay.
No,
I know you were like 62 when that came out.
There's
yeah.
two O's in Goose.
There's two O's and Goose, boys. The plaque for the alternates is in the ladies' room. With your name on it, BZ.
Great movie.
They're coming out with a 2.
Tom Cruise is batshit crazy. That was a great movie.
Yeah, but they're coming out with a 2. Have you seen this?
I have. We've talked about this before. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's go. Move on.
Why are you so angry right now?
Because I think it's a stupid-ass premise.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe it's a drone thing. Maybe it's not.
No, we don't. This is just as stupid as us.
Okay, fine. Then I'll say this. I saw. I'm reading a couple books on the 8th Air Force in World War II.
Yeah.
And we've talked about our family history,
Right.
BZ with this and Sean, and they're coming out. HBO, I guess it's been in the works for several years. I didn't know, but the script has been finalized, and they're actually going to be
they're gonna
starting
do
production. It's called The Mighty Eighth.
A series.
really?
Beautiful.
Yes, they are.
Just
It's
like
Tom Hanks,
Yep.
just like, but it's going to be the same line, same producers and everything as.
Pacific
Yep.
and Band of Brothers.
Yes.
That's overdue.
Yes, it is.
That's
That's-
awesome.
So they're going to be covering the air war, and my understanding is they're going to be covering a specific squadron based in England. I don't know which one.
I can't wait.
And they're going to cover their journey through the air war.
That's gonna be
over
great.
Europe, which is good because then I'm hoping what they do then is the air war in the Pacific, and then perhaps they'll do the Navy the naval warfare. Next. So anyways, interesting. I wanted to share that. Hopefully that should be coming out within the next year or so.
That should be absolutely fabulous. Like I say, the 8th Air Force and the people that conducted daylight bombings suffered a percentile, the greatest casualty rate of any military units in World War II.
Yeah, and reading about some of the stuff that, like some of the discussions the commanders had back then. And you know what's interesting is we see these same problems today in organizations still, is that the commanders, the generals that were involved with the bombing campaigns, both on the British side, I think it was Harper, as well as the American side with Spats. and Hap Arnold, they were focused on the German economy from an American perspective. So they were looking at a problem or what they thought would work based upon our economic model, not on what Germany's economic model was. And there's some things kind of going on in some organizations right now that I'm familiar with, where I'm thinking, wow, we are having the same problem. Like the organization is looking internally to solve a problem that's external and basing it on our own thoughts, our own experiences, our own whatever, rather than actually looking and working on what the issues are. So I just thought it was interesting, that parallels. We haven't freaking learned.
Will we ever?
No. I mean, we should, right?
No, in theory.
But like the sackheads should be running the country. We've talked about this.
Right.
We've talked about this.
In theory, we should absolutely have it nailed, and sadly, we do not. That's the biggest problem.
What's new?
Not a whole hell of a lot, buddy. What about you?
Yeah. No, well, I have something new, but it's in the segment in 3.5 minutes. If you see, the title of the segment is My Friend Liberal Bob. And I'm going to have to tell you about this individual. He is a friend of mine. Good guy, but yeah, well, I'll get to it in a minute. BZ, anything new in your life?
But absolutely crazy.
Yes, I have to say there is something new. For people that listened to my show last night, you know where I'm going, don't you? You know.
BZ. You can't
Okay, so
be
all the
accountable
people
at
that
your
were
age.
all the people that were in chat last night, when I had somebody on, I had Kel Fritzy on last night. And this evening, when I got here a little bit early, and then Sean walked in, and I said, Sean, I have a problem. And I know you're the solutions guy. I know that I can go to you because you're the tech god, and I'm just a moron. And then guess what?
There are people.
I was right.
About which part? You being a moron?
Yes.
There are people who, if they ever heard you say the words, "Oh, Sean, you're a tech god," they would absolutely come out of their shoes laughing.
But here's the
And one of them is Sacco.
One of them's Sacco. One of them's me on some level. It's just my camera. I have no right getting that sort of attention.
Yeah, so anyway, here's what happened. Sean comes waltzing in there. It's as hot again as the flames of fucking hell outside. It's
miserable.
108 degrees. So Sean gets in here, and I say, Sean, this is what happened last night, and I've had much greater audio before. And I explain things to Sean. He takes the cursor, puts it on a particular thing, goes click. There it is.
You know what though? But here's the thing, BZ. I don't know if you know this or not, but our system runs on PFM, and it took me a while to understand what PFM is in the tech world.
Right, and it took you a while. And we had to go to that class for you.
Yeah, we did. Well,
Big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. This new year, get clean, quality, pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list, including Ritual's best-selling Essential Prenatal Multivitamin, designed with 12 traceable key ingredients to support a healthy pregnancy. With big changes coming up, take the small steps now and start today with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
2 classes, really. One Google put on. And one thing I've learned, Twitter and Facebook and all the social media sites and
Liberal Bob's in the chat room, right?
No, I didn't know this, but this is going to be great.
Okay, good.
So
And if you want to join Liberal Bob in the chat room,
yeah, we are.
SHR Media
Our computer programming. Now, first of all, Liberal Bob's a liar for anything he says in the chat room. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. If you know, and obviously he's a liar because it's in the name, right? Liberal. So PFM, for those of you for those of you who don't know, PFM stands for, it's the same thing that Sackheads runs on. I'm pretty sure all the major networks, satellites run on. NASA uses it. It's a huge program, and it's pure fucking magic.
Yes.
That's how this shit works.
Right.
And I know that. And once you realize that, all is right with the world. Which basically makes Sean a magician.
Well, you are. I explained it to you, and you took the mouse and went.
It wasn't even. Even that. It was one button on the.
I know it was like this.
The mouse wasn't even connected.
Yeah, it was.
It was actually the letter F on the keyboard.
I know, right?
Yeah, it was like
actually,
this.
It was F. It was F6.
That was close. Hey, even I got the F right.
Yeah. It's this. Unmute.
Hey, PZ, we're all learning, aren't we? I mean,
Yes, but
every
my
day a
curve
different one.
appears
Yeah,
to be a little
we are.
bit steeper than some
Well, I
others,
would think
okay?
at your age you'd know more shit than you do.
but here's the thing, though, right? Everything that's in his head is pre-1985. So there's
75. Pre-1975.
So there's no room for this new shit.
No, there's not, right?
1905?
He still he still thinks that like the bomb squad runs on like an actual like ball that you light the fuse on. Like that's still what he thinks the terrorists are using.
The bomb squad is actually like Batman when he's running through
It's like Mad Magazine, Sergio Aragone's Spy versus Spy.
Yes.
That's how shit
Classic.
actually works.
Classic. Spy versus Spy is amazing.
Freedom Fest, real quick before we get into our first segment of the night about my friend Liberal Bob. Freedom Fest.
Freedom Fest.
We hope you join us out there. The Sackheads will be there in full effect.
FreedomFest.com. July 19th.
I'm not trying to brag, but we will probably be signing autographs again. I mean, that tends to happen.
Well, they were
when
$75
we get to Freedom
last
Fest.
year. Are you moving them down?
No, I think we might actually. I think our stock actually went up a little bit. I think we're going to be charging $75.50. Is that what we decided this year, Sean?
Well, 35. 75, 35 plus
Well,
a 50
the cool thing
cents.
was, and I thought
Right.
this was very reasonable, it was $105 framed.
Well,
That's a bargain.
Yeah.
listen, do you know how long it takes me to buy that frame?
Long time, GI.
And listen, we may have a coupon for 50% off.
50?
We might. That's unconfirmed.
Right.
At this point.
But you have to see us at the booth, though.
Right. And right now I'm going to give you the promo code for that, which is actually... damn
Is-
it. We got to get into our next...
No, promo code. Ready? It's 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
4.
Okay.
I thought it was the phrase fucktard.
That actually would be really appropriate.
That's for Sean's picture.
Okay.
All right. So my friend Liberal Bob, I want to kind of give you some background. And now
Liberal Bob.
Liberal Bob is one of these individuals who pretends to be conservative. I first suspected that Liberal Bob was a flaming libtard when every time I went into his office or any other room throughout the building that he has frequented or spent longer than 3 minutes, and the television set was tuned to MSNBC
Oh, well, there's an indicator.
or CNBC.
So unless it's broken...
Which it's not, because I test each one. Now, here's the interesting thing. Oh, no, that was the first offense, for sure, right?
I test each one.
First thing for sure. So I go in the first time I go into his office, and here it is on MSNBC. And I talk to him. I say, hey, Bob, so hey, I notice you usually watch this. Are you trying to get the other perspective, which I appreciate or what? He says, starts going off on a rant, threw stuff across the room, like threw a mop down the hall, which is a very long hall. And if he denies doing that in the chat room, again, he's a liar. And he goes off and he says, somebody must be changing my television. Okay, that's reasonable-ish, right? Well, then it happens again. Mm-hmm. I go into another room, a break-ish room area that he frequents, and lo and behold, MSNBC is on.
Bob, we're off to a bad start here.
So I talked to him about it again, and he goes off on a tangent, yelling at anybody who is in the hallways, and he says, stop touching the damn TVs. If anything's not on Fox News, I'm going to really get pissed, and he goes off. Okay. So maybe he's genuinely upset, but as you know, the left has a propensity to feign anger, and they seem really, really good at it, right?
Well, they're not happy.
They're not happy, but
Ever.
they can feign anger with the best of them. I mean, look at protests and everything else, which I have unconfirmed reports that Liberal Bob may have actually helped plan regarding some of those. And again, if he denies it, he's lying, folks. And then I go into a third room, his office again. And there it is again. Now, that's undeniable proof right there that it's liberal. And he gets so upset when I call him. Like, nobody gets that upset, right? When I say, Sean, that you're liberal, you laugh and you think I'm joking. He gets, like, beat red. And I think he actually might have a little bit of, he might, I think he has stomach issues, if you know what I mean, when he gets accused of that. I won't go into further detail about that. But then he leaves a car running in the back lot, and I thought for sure he was a conservative then, right? Because only a conservative would leave a car running in the back parking lot waiting for the air condition to cool and leave it running for a period of time, right?
Right, on a 110-degree
Absolutely.
day.
Look, only a conservative would do that and say, screw the environment, right? Absolutely. Well, here's his explanation when somebody actually calls him on it. He says, no, it's actually better for the environment.
Oh, I love this.
When I leave the car running because it uses less fuel, I'm polluting less, and now the fact that his argument wasn't one of fuck you, I'm comfortable, it was one of an environmental slant. That was the nail in the coffin for me. Now, I open it up to BZ and Sean for discussion. I have presented a pretty powerful case for how Bob is a complete libtard.
Okay, number one.
And he doesn't really deny it, which is funny, unless we're around other people. He laughs now. He used to get angry, but now he laughs, I think, because he's outed. So, BZ.
Point one.
Yes.
Clint is a racist. He said slant, it should be Asian. I'd just like to point that out.
Yes, and there's a black cloud hanging over liberal Bob because all these negative things keep happening to him.
I'm sorry, I have to stand up for people.
No, thank you. For those people. I know what you meant.
Right, okay.
Those people.
What? What?
Why?
This from the blatant bigot sitting to my right.
Hey, I haven't been called that. I haven't heard that name in years.
Years and like days. So I open it up for discussion. What does the jury say?
Well, is it accurate?
Of course, yes. Nothing I told you is a lie.
Okay.
Oh, well, wait a minute, BZ, before you go.
Yes.
Because he's gonna have to turn down his radio in the background. I know he's new at this, and he's a little.
Yeah, don't be listen.
But listen, it's only fair that while you sit here,
whatever.
He needs to defend himself.
Liberal Bob gives a chance to defend himself.
Yes. Liberal Bob, welcome to the show, sir.
Good evening. Thank you. Gosh, I didn't realize that it was such an opposite day with all this liberal Bob liptard bullcrap.
Now, hang on a second, sir. Was anything I say, was it inaccurate? Folks, I rest my case. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I rest my case. His silence was deafening.
That's an open-ended question because there were some things that were accurate, but the source of the accuracy, therefore, in itself is inaccurate.
See, you're using liberal logic right here. You are making my case
for
me, sir.
You need to understand that in each one of the rooms that you went into, you were there first before me. So therefore, you are liberal and trying to be conservative, i.e. your talk show.
Folks, again, we've been at this for a few years now. You've met us in person. You've talked to us. You know our conservative credentials. And as liberal Bob himself just told you, nothing I said was inaccurate. And yes, I was in the room first, which is how I found the incriminating, damning evidence that I found.
Bob's been slandered.
Did you say slanted? You can't say that.
No, it's Asian. You said that earlier.
Yeah, you already said
right.
that. He's been
libeled.
Libeled.
Oh, that's how now I know he's a liberal.
Krav Maga. I was dared to say that.
Except slander is verbal and libel is written.
Oh, hang on. Let me write this in the chat room.
It is. It's written up on a board in this certain office, liberal Bob, with no foundation at all, just because he thinks that he can just go ahead and do it, and everybody will assume that he knows what he's talking about.
I'm standing up for you, Bob.
Thank you.
I'm doing
okay,
my best.
great. So now we have liberal BZ. And anyways, folks, liberal Bob and liberal BZ. Bob, so I have this question. So is your defense that you, because you are in fact liberal Bob, so is your defense that you, in name, are an oxymoron?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I repeat that question.
Is your defense, is your assertion that you, because you are in fact liberal Bob, is your assertion that you are in fact an oxymoron?
Yes.
Folks, liberal Bob just proved that he's a moron in name. It's in the second half of the name. I can't.
Wait, an oxymoron, isn't that a stupid ungulate?
Ladies and gentlemen, BZ.
Completely contradictory. My name is Bob, but therefore I'm not a liberal. So therefore, a liberal Bob is a complete oxymoron.
So your name is Bob, which is accurate, but you're not a liberal, therefore, because Bobs aren't liberal.
This is great. I'm so glad.
I didn't say Bob's, but this Bob is not liberal.
Where's your friend Neil?
I don't have a friend, Neil. See, this is all made up by you.
So
I think that
now,
you
hang
come
on a
up with
second.
these things.
You just admitted. Wait. So, okay, is any part of the evidence I presented inaccurate? When you left a car
No.
running, did you not use? Did you in fact use a environmental argument to justify your actions?
No, it wasn't environmental. What I said was that it's more fuel to start the car when it's not actually running than it does to maintain a car from running. It has nothing to do with the environment.
Well, hang on a second.
If I was truly liberal,
but then you
no,
said,
no. If I was truly liberal, I would turn the car off because of the alleged global warming in the ozone with the exhaust from the car. But you know what? I parked right in front of a bunch of rose bushes with the exhaust pipe pointing right to them, and they still live because I left my car running.
Now, hang on a second. That stretch of roadway does not, in fact, face the rear of that vehicle towards those rose bushes. Bob, I implore you to be accurate and not falsify your testimony before the SHR world.
Well, you are assuming that I parked on the roadway.
Oh, so now more evidence for the fact Bob is conservative because he's saying he tore up the lawn and rose bushes in his parking. Is that correct?
You're the parking popo.
Did
should
you?
have been able to see where I parked that vehicle.
Bob, we're not talking about me right now.
Yeah, Bob, this is not.
Bob, this is clearly
okay.
about you.
Hey, Bob. You're allowed to hang up at any time you want.
No, hang on. So I'm actually glad to have now. In all fairness to all of our listeners, I love Liberal Bob, and I love giving Liberal Bob a hard time, almost as much as I love giving our ambulance chasing hack attorney a hard time.
Yep.
We love you guys. And Bob, again, thank you for. Did you in fact throw a mop down the floor, down the hallway?
Oh,
or kick it, or okay. And did you or did you not have MSNBC and CNBC on in televisions that were in your offices and areas that you frequent?
What?
Okay, thank you. So I rest my case, folks. But Bob, if you want to stay on and join us, we're going to be talking about some issues tonight. Would you like to chime in?
No, that's fine. I'm just going to listen for the first time. First-time listener, first-time caller. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Bob, so here's how this works.
Thanks, Bob.
Now we give people nicknames, and a lot of times, so to be honest, a lot of times the nicknames we give are complete horse shit, and it's just for our pure entertainment.
With the exception of the ambulance.
With the exception of the ambulance chasing hack, because he actually is in fact an ambulance chasing hack attorney.
And there's nothing we can do about that.
Right. Liberal Bob is a good friend of mine. He's a great guy. He's actually not liberal, but what makes it funny is the fact that I call him Liberal Bob, and I tell this story and actually got him to call in, because he gets so fired up about it, and that's the fun for us, really, here at SHR, is to see who we can get fired up.
Now, didn't we discuss this earlier, Sean? Isn't that's the basis of Clint?
Yes.
Which is why that plays so well.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, no,
See?
absolutely.
Yep.
We
knew that.
If there's one thing Clint likes to do more than anything else is piss other people off.
Yep.
Hang on, but
He
I
likes
do
to be a contrarian.
Yes.
but I do it.
And he's even arguing now over it.
Uh-huh.
No,
Yes.
I'm agreeing with you. But I do it with evidence that I twist for my own nefarious purposes. Because nothing I said about Liberal Bob was inaccurate.
And I will figure out how to untwist that and spin it on you.
Hey, Bob. Bob, when you figure that
Yeah.
out, brother, let me know. 'Cause I'm going on like 11 years of this shit. And
Yeah, I will.
we'll you come to the studio, we'll have a drink, and we'll figure him out.
Hey, now, Bob, we do drink at the studio sometimes. So
Well,
if you'd
then
like,
as long as you have Mountain Dew, I'm there. If not, then
if you
I have
so hang on.
no time.
So Liberal BZ only drinks Diet Mountain Dew, but if you come and be an
You
in
fat.
studio,
I do not. I drink regular.
But
Figure it out.
if you come into our studio, I will purchase regular Mountain Dew for you.
He just said I was a member
Gonna
of
be-
Fish and Game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will-
fishing game.
I will.
Fishing game. That's true.
I will purchase. I will have ice cold Mountain Dew in a fountain soda. None of this
There you
bottle
go.
garbage for you.
All right.
But in a fountain soda with ice.
Exactly.
Hey,
Perfect.
All right, Bob. Thank you.
Bob, if you want to come in, just let me know. Don't even deal with him. It's not even worth it. It's just not worth
All right,
it,
then.
brother. All right.
All right. Peace out. See ya.
Thanks. Liberal
See ya.
Bob.
Fucking liberals. Okay, so
Yeah, no kidding.
next segment.
Well, he's gone.
Gah.
Yeah, you can talk smack about him now. He's gone.
So we got a good 5 minutes left, and I think this is on me actually.
This is on you.
Rumor has it kicking around that old friend of the show and former Attorney General Eric Holder may be running in 2020 for president. Oh,
What
dear
a guy.
joy. Please, please, please let this happen. And here's why. Listen, the Dems are going to throw a couple shitbags up there anyhow, right? You're going to have a couple throwaway candidates, right?
Right.
It just happens. I mean, that's just who they are.
And maybe that's one of them.
Right. No, it is one of them.
Okay.
He has a snowball's chance in hell of winning because he's a complete idiot. He's such a douchebag, nobody will sit there and listen to him. No. He is their throwaway shitbag candidate that's going to then go around and rally certain groups in different communities.
Yeah, the only candidate that's been convicted of contempt of
Yeah!
Congress. Hey, perfect.
Right?
Well, he wasn't convicted because he wouldn't go after himself.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And then he pardoned himself because
And then
he
he-
could. He could. A judge did, I should say.
Right.
And then there's Kamala Harris. Don't forget Kamala Harris. She's a twofer and the best the Dems will have.
Wait, she had a what? A twofer?
Yes,
So are you alleging that Liberal Bob was there for part of that?
maybe.
Why?
I don't know why.
This is what gets me about this is why do we have to do this now? Why does it have to go into that? You know, this was
I didn't go into anything.
no, this was all about shitting on Eric Holder for a few minutes.
Yes.
We promised we'd shit on Eric.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
We jumped candidates.
We
No,
did.
No.
You're right.
That's my fault.
Thank
My
you.
fault.
All
I'm
right.
raising my hand.
Thank you. I was like, why are you looking at me?
Can you keep your shit straight over there?
All right.
Thank you. Dear God.
Eric Holder, contempt.
Yes. So Eric Holder's a piece of shit, and everybody knows it.
But a well-paid piece of shit.
well-
He's working for California right now.
Right.
For $74,000 a month.
Right.
No problem.
Hey, but the poor guy needs the money.
He does.
And he's just suffering. That's the
I
problem.
know.
And he's just another squirrel trying to get a nut. Listen. I mean, the poor guy, ever since he left office, he's done nothing but make shitloads of money speaking, and now he's just swiping money from the state of California to be on a retainer for something that he has no expertise in whatsoever, other than the fact that he was a fucking lawyer.
Well, and it's working so well,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
It worked well last night. Mm-hmm. It's been working well after November 8th. It's been all working so well. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much, Eric Holder. I don't know where we would be except for having $75,000 more a month richer if it wasn't for Eric Holder.
That's true.
Just
And
drive.
that money has to go somewhere. It may as well go to him.
Can you even imagine? Here's a guy who should have went away like 15 times in the last 12 years, right? Millions of reasons
Right.
why he should have just disappeared out of the public eye, bought a house in Montana, and fished for the rest of his life. And God love him, go for it. But no, this jackhole, who is about as sharp as a bag of fucking Vaseline, cannot keep his face. And now they're circling him. Oh, he might run for president. He might. Let him run, please. I want to see those debates. Have you ever seen him testify? He's horrible. If it's not pre-scripted, he sucks. Oh, I would love that.
No, just to debate him.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
On a mass level like you always like to do.
Right.
Yes.
I need to debate him.
You do.
Eric Holder. Because we know liberals listen to this show.
Well, Liberal Bob does.
Liberal Bob does. Yeah, and now he's a permanent fixture, which is going to be good. Eric Holder, we issue you an invitation to debate Sackhead Clint live on the air, or we can pre-record it, and we promise that we won't cut it or edit it at all. Look, Eric,
We can stream it live on YouTube.
you are a super smart attorney. I'm not. I'm not that smart. I've never been to law school. I probably am nowhere near as smart as you. But I would love to debate you. Mm-hmm. We will provide you with the issues to be debated up front. Mm-hmm. and let's have a live debate. We'll put a time limit on you if you want. We're not going to pay you for your time. You could pay us if you'd like, but no obligation. We're just going to invite you on to debate.
I think it's fair to pay us for that.
I think so too, but I'm saying he doesn't have to. I mean, he is getting how much money from the state of California?
$75K.
Yeah, to do what?
To be on retainer.
And a report came out, 2 weeks ago, saying that it had conclusive information indicating that Eric Holder lied to the parents of Brian Terry.
Of course he did.
Which, of course, all the American media maggots
ignored
completely.
Oh, it's horrible. But that's their job, apparently.
It
is. Hey,
is.
folks, we're up against a break here on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. We talk about, our good friend, the Hill Dog. All that and more right here on the Sackheads Radio Show. Stick around.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet. Via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Oh
It's
my
from a
God.
separate group chat about liberal Bob, and they're challenging me.
No. Hold on a
So
second.
I had to send that.
Hold on a second.
What?
We need to discuss this on the air.
No, we don't. We have to get onto
Clint-
this next topic.
Clint was just taking a selfie of himself
While
he has a video stream
Absolutely.
of himself.
Yes.
This is like some sort of
Hang on a second. No, that is
horrific game of Inception.
No, that's like ninja. I'm surprised you're not giving me props right now for all the tech that I just used in that one particular selfie.
Yes, you and my 2-year-old can text.
Speaking of selfies, I'd like to show people what it registered today outside of my car. I don't know if people can see it.
Hold on. There you go. Oh, no, there's just enough glare. Is that 116?
Darn it.
Yep, just enough glare. Can't get it. It's not going to get it.
111 degrees.
111. 111 coming down that bitch. It is so.
But it's not global warming, it's Sacramento warming.
Well, and here's the thing. If one more person says to me, oh, it's a dry heat, I'm going to give him a wet slap upside the fucking skull. That is the worst thing to say to somebody built like me in the heat. It's not a dry heat, because I'm sweating like a son of a bitch. A dry heat would be like, 80 degrees and no humidity. That's kind of a dry heat.
No, this is a dry heat.
No, no, it's not a fucking...
Ow!
You were nice to him. You didn't cut off his mic.
Not yet. The night's still young, folks.
He doesn't want to impede with my First Amendment rights.
Oh, by the way, welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're also on YouTube. You can just Google SHR Media YouTube, and it comes right up. Because I don't know the damn link.
Hang on, I have a message from Liberal Bob. He said that was pretty funny because I spun the truth. And of course, I had to report back. I said, I simply reported the facts and gave an interpretation based on the evidence.
Okay.
I think he's got. So here's the good thing about engaging him is he gets so fired up when he's engaged that he'll be like a caller.
Yeah. And you know what? We can spend hours talking about your friends off the air. I don't care.
No, but it's going to be.
Come on.
Go. Well, you wanted to talk about my selfie of the selfie with the.
Yeah, that's called witty banter. This is rehashing a 30-minute phone call 3 minutes later.
That was my grocer's name. I think Witty.
Selfie McSelfie?
No,
Bob?
Witty Banter.
Witty Banter.
Yeah, it was either from the Vermont Banters or the New Hampshire Banters.
Definitely
I can
New
never
Hampshire's.
remember.
It's definitely the New Hampshire Banter.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad Liberal Bob joined us.
Yeah, no, you're not evidently. So please, let's do what you want to do. Oh wait, never mind. It is your segment. Oh, no, it's BZ's segment. You're bitching. It's not even your segment
because it's BZ's and the poor old.
What? BZ can't stick up for himself? The guy's 107 years old. He's been doing it for a while.
I have experience in that.
Oh man.
Hey, here's a great article that just came out of the UK. From the, let's see, Global Mail. Canadian, this is incredible. The first big shot that was set was a sniper named Carlos Hathcock.
Was me about 18.
Took a shot at a Vietnamese individual standing on a dike in Vietnam in the 60s.
Whoa.
Not what you think.
Okay.
Yeah, not what you think.
Okay, I had to clarify because we are in California.
Because I clarified with you and you're doing it with me, I get it.
Right, thank you.
Perfect. In any event, he shot one round from a .50 caliber machine gun set to single fire from 1 mile.
Right.
And made the shot. And that made his reputation for years and years and years. Now we have a Canadian sniper from an elite special forces who makes a record-breaking kill shot in Iraq. Are you ready for this? A sniper with Canada's elite special forces in Iraq has shattered the world record for the longest confirmed kill shot in military history at a staggering distance of 3,450 meters.
Holy cow.
That's 2 miles.
Holy cow.
And Clinton was asking, okay, well, with what? Sources say a member of Joint Task Force 2 killed an Islamic State's insurgent with a Macmillan TAC-50 sniper rifle while firing from a high-rise during an operation that took place within the last month in Iraq. It took under 10 seconds to hit the target.
That's a long
That's
flight.
Absolutely.
That's a long flight.
That's
incredible.
It's staggering. There are so many ways that bullet could have gone. There could have been
a gnat.
It's like making 3 holes in one in a row. Consecutively.
So, and just to give, that man is the greatest mathematician on the face of the earth.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, the amount of environmental impact that you have, the environmental impact on the round itself, especially in a place like Iraq where it gets really, really hot and you have heat rising and all sorts of bizarre things, and now you start looking at some of the size of their bugs that fly through the air. that could set a bullet off, right? I mean,
well, you got to talk
cause it
about
to disintegrate.
Yeah, you got to talk about distance. You got to talk about windage,
muzzle velocity.
Actually, when you're talking about this now, you're starting to have to factor in the actual curvature of the Earth.
Because you're starting to get
in
to that
something
point.
like this, because now you're talking about that kind of incredible distance.
Dude, I can't drive 2 miles into an object that I'm aiming for.
How can you, Clint?
No, that's actually true.
How can you factor in the drop in something like this?
It's all math.
Like you said,
it's all math.
To have done this is absolutely spectacular. And here's an interesting tidbit. Now, this Canadian, has the world's record in terms of meters at 3450. Which country has the number 2 slot?
I want to say it's the UK.
You're exactly right. At 2475 meters. Then what country has the number 3 and the number 4?
I'm going to go with Canadians again.
Yes, exactly. Canada, number 3 and number 4, and then the U.S. at number 5 for 2,300 meters.
First and foremost,
what are they training? What are they feeding Canadian snipers?
And British.
Well, we should be eating whatever the hell that is.
See, I disagree. I think that just shows that the Americans have balls because we're not afraid to get close.
Right, of course, there you go.
Right? The freaking Canadians and the goddamn Brits, they have to do it from miles out. The Americans actually get up close and personal. So you know what? Wear that as a badge of honor, U.S. Special Forces.
That's right, 2,300 meters, close and personal.
Compared to those other cowards. Hey, once again, I took the facts and gave an interpretation.
In any event, I don't know what to say about that.
Oh, absolutely, God bless them.
It's an amazing shot. And you know what? Like you said, the Canadians have a history of shooting long and being damn good at it. And as do the Brits. Listen, I don't know if they have better math up there. I don't know if maybe they have better calculators, or like Clint says, we're just not afraid to get close and make it easy on ourselves. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm really glad that son of a bitch made that shot. God bless him for it.
It makes you wonder now with the kind of equipment, because the kind of equipment that snipers use today is much better than it was in say the 60s. So that said, when you pull off a shot with that kind of equipment that Carlos Hathcock used in the 60s...
I'm not going to lie, there are people in the room that were asking you to say his last name again.
Hathcock?
That's only our chat room, right?
Oh, of course.
Our chat room would
of course. Say it. Yeah. He said half-cock.
Say it again, BZ. Say it again.
Half-cock. Thank you. I'll be here all night, tippy waitress.
Oh, and you are going to be here at least for the next 22 minutes on this segment because it is yours.
This is ever so strange. Now, I've said this before. When the Democrats, ever since November 9th, the Democrats have not transitioned from November 8th to November 9th. So now...
It's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day. And Trump didn't really win.
Right.
He stole it, and it must be every factor except the actual electorate of the United States of America. That said, now, when all these Democrats go Russia, 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 and they open these various doors to investigations, and people walk through, it should come as no surprise whatsoever that there's going to be some kind of rollback, some kind of pushback, and there's going to be some splashing that comes back onto the Democrats themselves. Well, isn't this odd? State Department probes Clinton handling of government emails could pull her security clearance.
What?
So isn't
Should've
that
happened
amazing?
already, right?
Yeah. So you mean there might actually be some consequences for Hillary Clinton. The State Department opened a formal inquiry into whether former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her aides mishandled classified information when she was the nation's top diplomat. Oh, but wait, that can't be true.
No.
Because the ever truthful James Comey said, no, he concluded... Yeah, because he concluded in lieu of the Department of Justice, he was doing Loretta Lynch's job for her. Thank God, the Democrats are saying. He concluded that there was no there. There was no intent, and without intent, she's as innocent as a newborn babe, except that looks like some of this investigation shite is going to be coming back onto her.
I can't
Don,
wait.
that's so sad.
I can't wait. Question out of the chat room. It's a great question from 2476. Still better than 2475 for the guest numbers. Why does she still have a security clearance? It expires after a certain amount of time, and it doesn't mean that she has access, but the clearance still stands, if I'm not mistaken. And she may have access on certain things that she is still involved in that were part of her official duties.
Let me tell you the truth. The truth is this. When you go through various clearances, mortals like me and you, yes, that would be applicable. But to people like her, they conveniently forget and ignore and overlook such things. Let's go back to the Clinton White House in the 90s. You probably don't remember. There was an individual that Ronald Adler Aldrich, something like this, wrote a book about the Clinton White House. He was an FBI agent. And he wrote that at the time, 50 to 75% of the Clinton White House staffers that they pulled in didn't get backgrounded at all for up to a year. Not because the FBI didn't do their job, but because the Clinton administration held those people from being backgrounded and interviewed by the FBI people responsible for conducting those backgrounds for security checks.
BZ, half the people they employed probably couldn't pass them. That's why.
That's absolutely correct.
Let's be honest. They would have been out of jobs, the poor people.
But
so yeah, you have to put it off as long as
that's
you can.
completely forgotten.
Of course.
Conveniently absurd.
Conveniently.
And let's see, I think it was Chuck Grassley who decided that he was going to initiate this investigation. And he's a Republican out of Iowa. So under his pushing, shall we say, they instigated their own inquiry into her handling of emails. Way overdue. But this should not be unanticipated.
No.
And the Democrats are finally beginning to weaken and say, maybe we ought to actually pull back some of this stupid crap.
Well, and they're even starting to turn on Nancy Pelosi after these special elections.
Oh, that brings up another. Yeah. Oh, gosh, yes.
Thank you. I do what I can to help you out, my brother.
No, that's absolutely correct. Now because of, the truth is, in terms of special elections and this one, particularly with, Ossoff and Handel in Georgia last night, Handel won by at least 4 to 5 points, if I'm not mistaken, which
rather handily.
Which in that kind of a venue, that's not close. That's kind of a walk away. But the media was primed and said for quite some time, this is going to be an absolute referendum on Donald Trump.
Oh, they thought it was going to be a blowout.
Oh, it was going to be a blowout. Let's see. In the first one, the special election in the Midwest, that was a referendum on Donald Trump. Lost one. Number 2, special election. That's going to be a referendum on Donald Trump. Loss. Number 3, that's going to be a referendum on Donald. Loss. Number 4, they're 0 for 4. And so now, this is interesting. This is wonderful. Rachel Madcow's excuse for this is, ready? It was the weather. The weather.
What?
The weather was responsible for the poor turnout because it rained. Let me point. I would like to point out the obvious to everyone here, listening live and podcast and in chat. Unfortunately, it's true. The Republicans have never, ever, ever had to face rain during an election. So the Democrats are right. It was horribly oppressive because it rained, and that's why Ossoff lost.
I can't.
So they're merely stating the obvious. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
I cannot believe. But this tells you, this really sinks you down into the liberal mindset. We couldn't have lost. Well, most of them know the lie to tell, but it can't just be that they got beat. And that's the thing we see with the Trump election. We've seen with everything else. They can't just lose and go, all right, well, maybe next time we need to have a better candidate. No. It could be anything but the shitbag candidate like Eric Holder they're going to throw up in 2020.
Yes.
Who just couldn't win. It can't be that person. Everyone has to be racist. It fucking rained. Grasshoppers came out. The bus
That's
system
right.
broke.
It was a plague of
too hot.
locusts.
Plague
There
of
was
locusts.
blood in the
Yeah.
river.
It was?
Shit was on fire.
That's
You know,
right.
dogs and cats living together. Mass
Babies
hysteria.
were burned. It was terrible.
It was horrible.
Yes.
That's why they lost the election. Well,
Sunspots, tidal pull.
Sunspots.
That's it. I'm telling you. That's. And here's the thing:
forgot
sunspots
solar
and
flare.
tidal pull only
Solar flare.
somehow managed to affect the Democrats.
Yeah.
So
Chapped lips.
someone is pulling the strings for the Republicans against the Democrats. That's why it's happening.
Well,
It's the Russians.
and they do control the weather.
It's the Russians.
They control the weather.
They do. Yeah, their scientists can prove
Yeah.
anything.
That's right. They salted
Absolutely
the
anything.
weather. A Tu-24, a backfire bomber, flew over Georgia,
Dropped a cloud
invaded
bomb.
our airspace, salted the clouds, and it rained. Excuse me, seeded the clouds, and it rained.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's Russia.
Hysterically.
Clint, you're right. It's
Thank
Russia.
you. Thank you.
Here's my favorite part about all of this. They are so fucking scared of the reality that somebody like Rachel Madcow will go on national television, look the camera straight in the face and go, "We lost because of the rain."
That's right.
And the rain's racist.
I know.
I don't know if she said that last part.
I think it was an inferred. I believe if I'm interpreting the tone of how she said that correctly, I think it was an inferred racism on the part of the weather.
Did you just call her a turd?
No, inferred.
No, inferred.
I mean, Inferred, I'll call
her
Yeah,
a turd.
inferred. Yeah, we call her a turd. Are we in ideological war with Rachel
shall we declare?
Madcow? I vote for a declaration of ideological war.
I have one.
We only-
BZ, what say you?
Yeah.
I say guest 2476 said, BZ, the rain melts snowflakes, so they had to stay home.
Oh.
2476, throwing it in.
Not bad, eh?
There's a great picture on HP Pundits. This is a great picture on their Facebook page from CNN, and it's all four like announcers.
Will they all have the CPL?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, if you turn the camera on, I'll give everyone what the CPL is. The CPL is what I call the canine puzzlement look.
Yes.
And that's what you see your dog do, all right? And the canine puzzlement look looks like it looks like this. It's where your dog goes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they had. They were displaying the CPL for all to see.
Oh, it's amazing. But that's how you know.
Well, the left is actually starting now to say, well, yeah, we realize our anti-Trump rhetoric really isn't working like we thought it would.
Well, they doubled down. They continued to double down.
Good.
What is? Yes.
Thank you. Good.
What is?
Keep talking, because the more batshit crazy people know you are,
Definition of insanity.
the better it is for us.
Here's the best.
It is the definition of
Here's the
insanity.
Democrats summed up. Say you're watching a dog race, right? And 3/4 through the race, a dog unfortunately breaks its leg and goes down. And they put that dog into the box right away for the next race, broken leg and all. The Democrats are still betting on the goddamn dog. They're like, no, it's going to be number 7 this time.
No. What they're saying is
3 legs and all, he's good.
what they're going to say is, hang on a second. That dog has to have equal opportunity to win, so he gets to run the first length before they release the rest of the dogs. That's even
One
better.
leg off every other dog. No
Yeah.
breaking them.
Yeah, except the black dog. The black dog gets all 4 legs.
And an extra one put on.
And actually, right.
Just in case.
Right.
Because they feel bad for him.
Right.
The dog doesn't want it.
The dog doesn't
They
care.
keep telling the dog he needs a 5th leg.
And he actually now believes it.
And ladies and gentlemen, I just equated dog racing to the Democrats in a way that all of you can now
in a
digest.
I would say
very
that's a very nice
astute.
and very clever way. But here's the bottom line. When you take a security clearance through the federal government, one of the first things that you're told, and I remember this right off the bat, is that you can be in violation of 18 USC 793F when you provide classified information to people. That's a felony, and you can do, well, not jail time, prison time for that up to 10 years. That's emphasized when you sign these things. Hillary Clinton, no more, and her cadre, no more should be around any classified information than an earwig, a paramecium, even one mecium, or even 3 mecium.
Or Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
Wait a minute. When you say paramecium, that is two.
That's two
meciums.
Two more moose, which
Right.
are meese.
2 meciums.
Right.
I think meese are mice.
No, I love them mices to pieces.
Right. So they're actually 2 parameciums that would actually
that's 4 moose.
That's 4 mice.
4 mice.
Right.
And the other thing is, how do you put on a pair of pants? A pair of pants is 2 pants, which means 4 legs. How do you insert 2 legs into 4 legs from a pair of pants? How is that possible?
Well, it's simple, right? It's actually the same math that they teach in Common Core now.
Right.
You put 2 legs into the pockets.
Right.
Then you flip the pants upside down.
Okay.
Put your hands through the legs.
Yes.
Then you do a barrel roll across the floor.
Okay.
But to the left.
Well, naturally.
Well, to the left,
Why would
yeah.
Why would
Hell
you go
yes.
the other way?
You wouldn't in school today.
Just want to make sure.
Yes.
So after the barrel roll, to the
To the left, thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you.
All right. So then you stand back up. You hop
On your hands.
Well, yeah, they're through the legs.
That's what I'm talking about, but I want to make sure it paints a picture.
You then hop for 3 to 4 minutes like a kangaroo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the pants will magically fit.
Okay.
No, the pants do fit.
Magically.
No, it's not magic.
Is that
they
P-
fit.
is
It's
that-
mathematics.
Math.
Is that PFM? Is that an
It is.
example?
We're back to PFM.
That is an example of
We are
PFM.
back to
Okay,
PFM.
I have 3 mathematic questions that I'm sure everyone here will get.
Pie.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Because I love pie.
Right.
Cake.
How much dirt is in a hole 3 feet by 7 feet by 2 feet?
Enough dirt to
7
fill
by
3
3
feet by
7 by
2
3
feet
by
by
2,
7
so
feet.
7 by 3 is 20,
It's,
Okay.
40,
All right.
42
feet.
Here's another one. A
Yeah.
train is traveling at 60 miles an hour downhill against a 60-mile-an-hour headwind.
Okay.
How fast is the train traveling?
60 miles.
60 mile per hour.
Now, okay, a fly is inside of your car.
Yeah.
And you're traveling at 75 miles an hour.
No, I'm not.
on
The speed limit 65.
On the freeway.
No, I'm not. Speed limit 65.
No, but this time you are because you're in Montana. And
Okay.
it's legal.
Okay.
Okay. How fast is the fly traveling?
75 miles an hour.
What if the fly is going? What if the fly is?
A fly can't fly.
What if-
75 miles an hour? So come on, how fast is the fly? Chat room, help me out with this one. Chat room, come on.
But you go to the law of inertia at that point, right? An object in motion stays in motion. It may be stationary in that vehicle, but that vehicle is in motion at 75 miles an hour. There,
Clint?
and all of its contents are moving 75 miles an hour.
Clint, how do you spell lar?
LAR, and it's referred to a bird.
Okay. Is that like Bert Lar?
Hold on, wait. I'm going to do a little test. How's your mic right now? Your mic's doing pretty good too, right? Yeah, no, it's great. I sound amazing.
But you don't look amazing.
Fuck you.
Hey, fuck yous for everybody. Hey, real quick, because I know we don't have time for it, but I just saw this, so it just came out
Now
tonight.
that was some funny shite, okay?
Did you? Trump is coming out with a proposal where he is seeking, he's asking Congress to bar immigrants, illegal immigrants, from receiving welfare for a 5-year period. And he's basing this on the public charge provision of the law, which is 18 U.S.C. 1182. If you look at 18 U.S.C. 1182, it talks about inadmissible aliens, and it's buried way, way down there, but it gives the legal basis that makes an alien inadmissible into the United States. And one of the things that listed in there is public charges. And that is, if an immigrant is going to get on public assistance and become a public charge, basically public monies are going to be spent on them, they can, according to 18 U.S.C. 1182, they are inadmissible for entry into the United States.
I can hear leftists' heads exploding all across
Yes.
the fruited plain.
So
from
now,
here.
Now, interesting thing, he wants to put forth an executive order that's basically going to enforce that, and he's asking Congress to specifically pass a new law that codifies that further.
This is grand.
Now you know what's going to happen. We have the law, right? We know he can do it based on the public charge part of the U.S. code that was just cited. You know, if this comes into effect as a executive order, that it's going to be the Ninth Circus is going to shoot it down, the Hawaii court's going to shoot, everybody's going to shoot it down, even though it's lawful for him to do. But I just kind of want to, I know we're up against a break right now, but I wanted to throw that out there for everybody just to kind of chew on.
That's
for a few
why I love it, because literally you can hear leftist brain housing groups just absolutely exploding with grand concussions.
But they're the same people, like we said about his speech today, who are turning around and saying, but he's forgetting about the hard-working immigrants. And
you're forgetting about the nuances of the immigrant household.
And to which my response is, they didn't elect him. They're illegal immigrants. He's worried about Americans. That's his job.
Well, not only that, but why do we give a shit about the nuances?
That's too lengthy a response. Yeah. My first response was blow me.
All that and more right here on the Sackheads Radio Show live.
Wait, all what and more? I'm not blowing.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show, live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Jane Butcher said just before the break, she said, that is an interesting way to go to break. What? Laughing my ass off. Speaking of chat, we got a lot of people in chat. We got Big Mouth Patriot, Mike, BMP. Celeste, Sackhead Sean, who's that? Dave Milner. Yep. We got Jane Butcher. Guest 2476, of course.
One viewer.
And one viewer.
Yeah, we
That's
need
all
to
one viewer?
jump on the SHR.
Is that us?
Go to shrmedia.com.
Are we viewing ourselves?
No.
Hey, before we get into your segment, I do want to have folks just kind of Google something if you can.
Oh God, no.
No, it's okay. Check out the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996.
Holy crap. Personal
Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act.
I'm not looking it up.
Of 1996. Well, because I'm going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, so
before we get to your segment.
All right. On August 22nd, President Clinton signed into law the personal responsibility. Note, President Clinton.
Who signed that?
President Clinton
signed
the law, the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996.
And here's what this does. Again, President Clinton signed this. I think this was a Republican-led Congress at this time. President Clinton signed this. This allows federal authorities to deport immigrants.
Wait, what?
This allows federal authorities.
Hold on. Everyone has to be on for the video for the shock on our face.
Okay, ready? You got?
Yep, I'm ready.
This law allows the federal government to deport immigrants. Nice shock face. Who become dependent upon public funding within 5 years of their arrival.
Is this Elian Gonzalez law? Because you remember Elian Gonzalez, the little Cuban boy that Clinton sent, I think it was the ATF in?
Oh, yeah.
To remove
right.
him
He was so
from his
dangerous
family to
that they
deport
had to send guys in with vests.
No, this was because
That's
I think,
a dangerous kid.
I don't remember. I remember that case vaguely, but that was something about a kid living with his father.
Yeah,
Wasn't
but I
supposed to
think
be here.
that's what
Mom's
spurred
custody.
all the immigration
no,
stuff.
I don't know, but I just know that this act was signed into Clinton, and it says, "Hey, if you become dependent upon our public funds within 5 years of you getting here, GTFO." That stands for Get the Frank Out. I don't know if his name's Frank and what if his name's not Frank, but either way, you can get out. Here's the interesting thing: a lot of that law, many portions of that law, was rolled back by President George W. Bush, and then again with Barack Obama. So, how the left forgets.
Yeah.
So now Trump is kind of using what he wants to do here, based on this law signed into law, based on this law which was signed by President Clinton. How is the left going to go batshit crazy on this?
Because he wasn't truly a leftist.
Jimmy Carter did the same thing in 1979 and 1980 that Donald Trump wanted to do in 2016 and 2017.
And they all went fucking crazy.
And they went nuts.
Yep.
And Barack Obama did it too.
Yes.
But that doesn't count.
Well, no, because it's okay when they do it. That's the thing. Speaking of okay when we do it.
Nice segue.
Thanks.
No, I see it parked over there, like out front. It's a nice segue. I like it.
Right into work.
Yeah, no,
it was nice.
With the fire.
I love the
paint
title of
jobs.
this segment on our big board of topics. Our guys 2, them 0. Just worked so well for me. Earlier this week in SU 27, that's owned by Syria,
flankers
purchased from the Russians, probably during the days of the Soviet Union, because that's when they were still heavily produced,
given to them,
was bombing anti-Assad regimes, anti-Assad rebels in Syria. And
who are tied to us.
That were tied to us, right. We were supporting them. And in response, an F-16 shot the fucker out of a sky. Now...
Wait, was it a 16?
It was a 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 16. First air-to-air kill since 1999 of a manned object. I believe...
It was a dogfight, no big deal.
I don't think it was a dogfight.
Hang on. I'm showing my shirt off.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had to switch cameras.
Yeah,
go ahead. There you go.
I thought he was standing up to fart.
I thought he was too.
No, that's just
because he didn't want to sully the seat.
I'm showing my
shirt. What that was.
Yes, he did not want to sully the seat. Yeah. So first air-to-air dogfight kill, first air-to-air battle since 1999. Of course, I don't think it was a dogfight based on our technology. It was probably one of those things where the Syrian, or as I suspect, the Russian pilot in a Syrian plane went beep, beep. I wonder what the hell. Eject.
Do we know, did the guy get killed, or did he in fact survive?
I do not have any information on the pilot.
I don't think he was killed.
I don't think he was. However, it's going to be interesting to see who was flying that plane. Now, you go back to Vietnam, and how many Russian pilots were in Vietnamese planes and fighting on behalf of the Vietnamese. It's very cozy like that with Russia and Syria, right? Russia took extreme exception to this and started really amping up the rhetoric in that region in general. Of course, a few days later, one of our, I think it was an EC-135, but one of our surveillance planes was over the Baltic, and an Su-27, I believe it was.
Yep, flanker.
Flanker again, approached it within 5 feet, did a barrel roll over it, completely aggressive moves. The Russians were very, very vocal about this shoot down, and amazingly, the Pentagon's coming out and saying, yeah, this shit's going to keep happening. So stop bombing, and stop doing this, and you won't lose any planes. It's really, really simple. And just yesterday, I believe it was, an armed Iranian drone was shot down by an American, and I think that was an F-18 Hornet, over Syria as well. So it's starting to really ramp up again in Syria. And one of the things that I do like is that the Pentagon is being so vocal about, hey, we're not taking it. You're not going to bomb these people. And you got to understand, too, it's not just the Syrian government bombing people. This is the same government that uses barrel bombs, all these other things. They're killing children. I don't care what you believe on who's fighting and why. When children are getting killed, I take exception to that rule. Intentionally killed. When hospitals and medical centers are being barrel bombed out of the back of helicopters and such, it's an issue. But the Russian tie to this is a much bigger issue, in my opinion. Because I can almost bet dollars to donuts that it was a Russian pilot in there. And the only reason I say that... In
what they say was a Syrian warplane?
Well, the markings identified as a Syrian flanker. So, but that doesn't mean anything. It's all about who's at the seat, right? I mean, they could take an upgraded Su-27. It'd be interesting to see what technology is in that plane. Is if it's an upgraded Russian one with just paint done on it, which is very, very possible, or if it's a legit Syrian plane that was being flown by the Russians.
So you're making the analogy like was made in World War II. How do you view the French Navy through a glass-bottom boat? I see the analogy. I get it.
But this definitely adds a new level of angst in that region.
Well, again, a lot of what's happening here is the result of 8 years of leading from behind and strategic patience. And this is what it's gotten us. So it should come as absolutely no shock whatsoever that Putin, Lil Kim, etc. et al. is going to push the boundary to discover just what it is that Trump will and will not do.
We'll get into North Korea and Little Kim here at the end of the show, so I don't want to showbiz that too much. But I think North Korea and Little Kim will do more than just push and test the boundary.
Well, that's because he's insane.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see? Are we getting into North Korea now?
No.
Damn it.
No, you want to get into North Korea now?
Yeah, because it's North Korea. Dude, I always love talking about North Korea.
Let's hear it.
Hurrah. One of my favorite headlines I saw this week about North Korea. I don't care. Let's jump into it. Hold on. Let me pull it up because I have to quote it specifically because I was laughing my ass off, and I hope it's still... It is one of the things that Kim Jong-un is... oh, here it is. This is from Newsweek. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un fears decapitation by a squad of Navy SEALs.
Yes.
This is his fear.
Well,
yes,
and
he thinks we have decapitation squads.
Oh, sure. And he's doing the same thing that Saddam Hussein did and al-Assad is doing these days. He's not sleeping in the same bed 2 nights in a row.
Oh, no.
Guaranteed.
No. And so Trump tweeted out today about North Korea that it just isn't working, meaning the sanctions, the talks, all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And people took a lot of speculation of that as to what's he talking about?
Well, now, there was also another interesting article today which indicated that sensors on various, shall we say, satellites, etc., for us are indicating that there may have been another underground nuclear explosion in North Korea. They're picking up radiation.
So a couple things on North Korea that spurred all this North Korea stuff. And I don't know if we have time to get back to it or not. I'm guessing probably not because we've moved on to North Korea. But the Russians flew within 5 feet of one of our aircraft with one of their fighter aircrafts, with one of our reconnaissance aircrafts.
Right.
But Warmbier?
No, Warmbier.
Warmbier. Yeah. Gosh, the poor kid.
Died.
Yeah.
Succumbed to his injuries he sustained by being in North Korean captivity. And this is kind of really what's kicking all this off again. I believe there was another missile test over the weekend from North Korea. North Korea is now claiming they have the capability to hit the United States.
It's an ICBM.
Yeah, other experts are saying no, they don't. But you know what? I would tend to take somebody at their word in this case. Look, let's just err on the side of caution. And he says he can do it. Let's go ahead and just believe him that he can do it. I think that's safer. It's kind of like the bully on the playground when he says, "I'm going to kick your ass." Why not wait? Why wait for him to finish the sentence because you know he's going to do it?
Somebody points a gun at me and they said, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you." I don't know if that gun's working or not, but I'm going to shoot first.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, according to North Korea, they have the ability to strike the United States with an ICBM.
Mm-hmm.
If that is true, if they attack targets in South Korea, the South Koreans would have 0 to 6 minutes to respond.
Right.
New York, I think it was the New York Post, ran a story about all these timelines.
God, if they only have the THAAD system.
I don't. Yeah, gosh, those damn environmental concerns. Though.
Anywho,
in South Korea,
Japan would have about 10 minutes. The U.S. they say would have about 30 minutes, and the west coast of the U.S. and it'd be about 40 minutes. For Washington,
30 minutes,
D.C.
I can get up with my Keurig. I could probably get a full cut
probably
down.
Get a cut right before it hits. And it would hit San Francisco and Berkeley anyways, which, whatever. But that's a good point.
Whatever.
Anybody, right?
Take care of the peace, Mel.
So, this is a serious threat.
I agree.
And then in the background of all of that, you now have a United States citizen who was arrested for tearing down a propaganda poster in a hotel he was staying at, I believe on a staff floor. Stupid thing to do in a communist country that hates us.
Yeah, he wanted to take it home.
For sure.
Sort of a souvenir
Stupid thing to do. But he got sentenced to...
But he's also a kid.
He's also a kid.
Right.
But it's a stupid thing to do.
It was not a good move.
Doesn't deserve to die over it.
Absolutely
doesn't deserve to be imprisoned over it.
Nope.
Okay, that being said.
If they brought him to the DMZ and dropped him off and said, "Don't come back again, kid," okay.
Yeah. Yep. So he's in captivity, and I think his sentence was 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Goes into a coma. The North Koreans say it was botulism that he got, and they send him home. Probably because they don't want him to die.
They don't want him to die
in their custody. Yep.
Bingo.
Oh yeah.
So they send him home as a diplomatic win, and he dies here as a result of what happened there. No outward signs of being beaten or anything. So who knows if it was some form of asphyxiation?
But you also don't know how long.
We don't know.
You also don't know how long he was in that state truly before he was turned over.
Correct. I'm guessing it was pretty bad. If they're like, we need to make this guy go away.
Yeah.
So he now dies. President Trump came out and said that although he appreciates the president of China's work on this, he believes diplomatic means are not working, and that the United States can absolutely handle the situation.
It says a lot, right?
That says a lot.
Yeah.
The Japan now is allowed. They're not allowed to have aircraft carriers still, but they have a helicopter carrier and troop transport.
Mm-hmm.
They're building up their military.
They have Littoral
again. So President Trump, I believe, is meeting. Did he meet today with the president of China? Was that the summit? I know he had the rally in Iowa, or is he meeting tomorrow?
I don't think
it
wasn't today.
They have an upcoming meeting coming up, I believe. With China, and it was set up previously when they met to kind of come back and revisit some things. And I have to wonder if this is going to be a topic of conversation I would think it would have to be. Right? North Korea would have to be. So how does this look? Does President Trump say, hey, listen, you have 150,000-ish troops on the border. It'd be awesome if he said you have 151,362 troops, and I'm sorry that those 24 are sick. Like, that would be amazing if he said that to the Chinese president. But they had like 150,000-ish troops.
Oh, just so you know, one of your colonels wears heels when nobody's looking.
Right. Here's a picture.
Yeah.
That looks like Sackhead Sean. No, it's not. It's trust me.
Definitely a colonel in your army.
Nice toe hair, though.
And he is not a radio show host. Go on.
But does he say, hey, go handle this, or we will? Or does he say, hey, we're going to handle this, so you may want to stay out? Does he say, hey, Japan, you may want to go handle this? I don't think that's the case, because that'd be bad. Last time Japan was an aggressor, like, the world didn't like that so much.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well.
Didn't work out so well
Just
for
say
them.
If history ever repeated itself,
right.
They just got things put back together.
Right. So Japan is in on this meeting, and they say, hey, guys, we have a plan. Hear me out on this. So North Korea has a harbor.
I'm just saying.
We're just spitballing here.
About 9:30 in the morning local time.
7.
Sorry, 7.
Yeah. We sail some aircraft carriers, but we make like 2 trailer park girls. We go around the outside.
Yep.
Right? We launch a strike.
No one will see it coming. What happens after that? It doesn't turn out well for us.
It doesn't turn out, but we're going to need your support.
But at that point, we'll need a little help. Right. We have the first part down.
We can't get much after that.
Right. We don't know where to go with it.
Right. This isn't an island that we can take over. It's more of a peninsula.
Listen,
so
all we know is we take our biggest boat and sink it before it gets to fire a shot.
Right.
And that's about it, really. And everything's on fire.
And we're not sailing anyway through this place called Midway.
Yeah, did not work out well for us.
Right. We're not going to go there again. As a matter of fact, did we tell you we were sorry for 1941?
Right. It has nothing to do with this one. No, I don't think you go with Japan.
I don't either. And look, I don't think that Russia's going to get involved. I know we spoke about this previously.
We talked about that.
Russia has come out and said a nuclear North Korea is a imminent threat to Russia as well. So Russia's not going to get involved. Really, that only leaves China. Now, China has already been putting diplomatic pressure on North Korea. Obviously, it's not working. They've turned back many of their coal importations from North Korea.
Right.
Obviously, that's not working. Little Kim is proceeding. Russia has to think this guy's batshit crazy, but publicly can't really just out the guy.
Not a whole lot they can do.
So, which way does this play out? Now, look, I'm not a warmonger, but like to use the analogy you said, Sean, if somebody points a loaded gun at you or says that the gun that they are holding in their hand is loaded and they have the ability to shoot you,
yes,
can you let that stand? And you can't, particularly with a nuclear weapon. The stakes are far too high. If somebody has a BB gun and they say, I'm going to shoot you, not a good idea to let it stand. But if it's got the big orange tip and it says .177 cal, I mean, maybe. But if they have...
If they took it from you and you knew it was a BB gun...
right. Yeah, but if they're pointing a 308 at you at point-blank range...
It's a 308.
Yeah.
It's still a 308.
So how does this play out, BZ? Do you see more economic sanctions against North Korea? At this point, it hasn't worked. Do you see a la Reagan v. Gaddafi with some... I wish we still had the A6s because that'd be awesome. Where we fly some aircraft over and drop a couple
probably get a few other
ordnance. Yeah, drop some ordnance through his front door. Do you see China doing it and just kind of being quiet about it as we sit back and support?
Do we put Navy SEALs in to decapitate?
Do we actually activate the decapitation squads, which haven't been activated since the Revolutionary War? I vote for that one.
It's my favorite one.
I vote for that one.
How about this? Why don't we tie him to a board? Hear me out. Then we get an ADAC gun, anti-aircraft, and just light him up. Right? It's not considered cruel and unusual in that country.
Not there.
Nope.
Right, not there.
The funny thing is, North Korea has the fourth largest standing army on the planet.
What if they sit down for a minute?
And geographically, North Korea shares a border with China and with Russia. Very few people realize that. Statistically, genetically, the North Korean army is physically the smallest on the planet, with the average soldier being anywhere from 5 feet to 5 foot 4 inches in height, ranging between 100 and 120 pounds. That's because of sanctions and the lack of food. So what that's telling you is that North Korea continues to field a massive army, doesn't give a fuck about the conditions that its troops must endure, so sanctions are not going to work.
Right.
The corollary to that is if you go in and Kim is in a place or a location where he actually does get the chance to push the button, two people are going to suffer. Two nations are going to suffer. South Korea, South Korea and Japan.
Well, not if he has capability to hit our west coast.
Well, hell, our boomers, if you
15 minutes.
If you just a boomer sitting in a port in Washington can hit every continent on the planet. It doesn't even have to go out of port.
But the ones that are over there, I believe it's 15 minutes from what we have.
Just from the chat room, really quick. Dave Milner says that he thinks that we should send in ninjas. So he's for Japan.
So that would be Japan.
Right,
he thinks Japan would go doing it for leading the way. Okay.
Sorry,
I like that. I like that. That's not
love
bad.
It. Anytime you can employ ninjas as part of your battle strategy, I'm good with it.
You're winning.
Yes.
That's what winning looks
or
like.
Or Israelis with Krav Maga.
Oh, there you go. Stop right there. That was point B.
Yes.
Let's go ringy-dingy to Benjamin and say, hello, Net, can you give us some of your finest Mossad agents and we'll secrete them into a nice little harbor in North Korea and then your dudes go do what you do best.
I do have an interesting question for the chat room, and I'll pose it to both of you. It's for BZ, but Clint, I want your response on this too.
Mm-hmm.
How many of the North Korean military leaders would like to see Kim Jong-un dead himself?
A bunch of them.
I agree.
Several, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, they don't want to be under threat of being tied to an AA gun.
Well, exactly, and they know he's out of his mind.
They know he's out. Look, hey, look at Hitler and how many of those guys thought he was out of his mind.
Here's what you don't know,
right?
though.
Hitler lost that war for Germany,
right?
And there were how many German generals? Look, how many the plans to assassinate him, which were never came to fruition or were foiled. Even at the end of the war, the Goring knew that things that the Fuhrer was doing was costing him the air war. Albert Speer, in terms of energy production,
it cost Erwin Rommel his life.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Huge.
But here's what I would submit to everybody regarding North Korea. Because of the clandestine fashion in which that country operates because of oppression, generals, officers, etc. are not going to go out and say anything remotely public with how they truly feel. If you get a small cabal of officers together in any kind of unified meeting, they have no idea if another one is going to go in and go talk to Kim Jong-un because they know what he's done in the past.
Absolutely.
So they may have these feelings. My guess is
and that's
not going to do much about it.
And that's why I think China would be. I think the best option would be for China to go in and do it.
I think China would be the best.
I don't know if
option,
they're
but
going to.
They won't do it.
And if they're China could. I think China could easily go in and take him out and set somebody new up, who's not completely batshit crazy, who's going to be loyal to their fine whatever, and not going to fuck with us, and then we could sign the peace.
Right.
But if China's not going to do it, do I really want to see a whole committed war? No. Do I think we need to go hit some test sites and his front door? Yeah, I do.
I agree. I think we just need to rattle some cages. A lot over there, actually. It's funny you brought up Hitler. There was a great post somebody did the other day. I want to say it was on Facebook, but it was on one of those things where you can put a poll up, and it says, who do you like more, Kathy Griffin or the guy who killed Hitler? And the guy who killed Hitler was at about 75%.
Wow. Wow.
The guy who killed Hitler? I hope the chat room caught that one.
I was dying because I'm like, all right. So a lot of those people still knew who killed Hitler,
right?
And they still voted. But that many more people don't know who killed Hitler and just
right?
assume somebody else did,
right?
I understand now. Correct me.
First of all, I'm sorry, BZ. I am not a Nazi sympathizer. I despise the Nazis. I despise the Nazi movement here in the U.S. However, if I were a Nazi and if I were going to make a shirt,
no, don't put that out there. Don't. If it shows up, you're going to feel like shit.
If I were, I would say I heart the guy that killed him.
Okay, I heard
that's a winning idea.
I heard it on good information that the person that killed Hitler was Bill Hitler, his brother.
His brother Bill?
His brother Bill.
Heard all about that. Bill was an asshole.
Bill was a dick.
He was a dick. Folks, we're up against the break. We're going to come back. A couple more segments and we'll wrap up the show here on the Sackheads.
What's great is we already talked about North Korea, which was our next segment.
So just
you didn't name it. We're going to talk about more stuff.
All that and more on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Stick around. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And we're back on the Sackheads Radio Show. Live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us. If we go to break, we're talking about Bill Hitler.
Yes, we were. And we were also talking about North Korea. Now, there's an article that I pulled up, and I'm going to read some of it. I'd like to have the input of you and Clint because of this. And it's out of The Hill, and it says, North Korea willing to halt missile tests with conditions, says a report. North Korea is open to temporarily halting its nuclear and missile tests should the United States agree to several demands, South Korea's news agency reported. North Korea ambassador to India, said on Wednesday that Pyongyang is willing to employ a conditional moratorium on the country's tests should the United States come to the negotiating table. One demand could be halting U.S. and South Korean joint military drills. North Korea called the drills an invasion rehearsal, while Seoul and Washington argue the annual exercises are routine defensive preparations. So, question to you guys. Does this signal a willingness now of North Korea to back off?
False willingness.
Nope. It's a stall tactic.
It's a false willingness.
Okay, completely agreed. Because in 2012 they did the exact same thing.
Yep, and I remember that.
And they negotiated, but that time they were negotiating for food.
Yep,
and they got it.
They
and
got food,
and we bit.
Yep.
Well, and listen, I like to remind everybody, the whole reason North Korea has the capability to have nuclear weapons because of Bill Clinton. And everyone forgot that. Same thing that happened with Iran. We talked about this when the Iran nuke deals were going. Of, hey, Clinton said, we'll give you these concessions. We'll allow you to do nuclear for energy. And it went too far. And they ended up with the bomb.
Well, here's this link, too. 1994, Bill Clinton okayed certain technology to go to China that he well knew or should have known was used specifically to create missiles and a missile defense technology.
Yes.
Where did that technology go? From China to North Korea. Again, thank you, Bill Clinton.
Yes. So, as we see, listen, the only way North Korea is going to change is if the people running North Korea change. I hate to say that, but that's a reality. And we've seen that with a lot of other rogue states. But the reality of the situation is, as long as one of the Kim Jongs are in power, there's going to be issues. And because they're raised, and his little spuds will be raised as well, to believe that
Does he have any kids?
I don't
Does
know.
Fatty McFatterson have kids?
I don't know.
Hello, baby. He was married, and then his wife ended up in a porn, and he killed her, if I recall.
But it was a home video.
Okay. How does that change anything? I didn't say.
I think it's right next to the Pam Anderson home video, too.
I didn't say it was on Pornhub.
Okay.
I just said it was.
Wait, Clint, how does he know about Pornhub?
Well, because I'm under the age of 60. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, that's not funny. That's not funny. Can I?
Okay, hang on, BZ. Hang on, let me explain it to BZ.
Okay.
No, let me explain it to BZ real quick.
Okay.
So, BZ, Pornhub is allaroundthebarnyard.net, but with people. So there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
Can I read this from chat?
No, I'm going to read it first.
Okay, fine.
This is from the actual boss at HP Pundit, Jane Butcher. This little story.
There's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah. Oh no, I know there is. Kim Jong-un announced at a news conference that North Korea would be sending a man to the moon in 10 years. A reporter asked...
Wait. No. A man to the sun.
A man to the sun. I'm sorry. A man to the sun in 10 years. A reporter said, but the sun is very hot. How will your man land in the sun? The audience was stunned, to which Kim Jong-un quietly answered, we will land at night. There was thunderous applause.
See?
Now,
perfect.
Now, saying that, you can't immediately discount that it was actually occurred. That's the best part about that.
Right!
The look on your face as I read that, you could not tell if that's a made-up story or if it's legit.
You can't, because he's fucking nuts.
Yes.
And he says the greatest shit. Like, why can't he come on Sackheads?
Oh, God, please. Please. Well, we said the same thing, though. Listen, some of our craziest leaders that we love, right? Gaddafi.
Yes.
Would have loved to have had Gaddafi in here for a few hours.
Oh, that would have been grand.
Yes.
Oh, with all the female bodyguards and the tents he would have set up here.
Yes.
Or maybe down at Chavez Park or whatever.
Wherever.
Right.
Wherever.
But Gaddafi had a sense of mortality, and he knew when to stop shite.
Oh, yeah, because we parked some bombs through his front door and killed his son.
And,
Ding
yes,
dong, Momar,
blew
rise
the
and
lungs
shine.
out of his son, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and again, you have a problem player. You deal with it. The problem goes away for an
I have a hypothetical
very long
question.
time.
I have a hypothetical question.
Yes.
And I'm going to preface this by saying this. We would not engage in violence unless it was in self-defense. So this is purely hypothetical for ponderous purposes. If Little Kim did in fact come to a studio of a particular network.
Right.
And somebody from that particular network did in fact kill Little Kim. Do you think somebody would be prosecuted for murder?
Wasn't that a Seth Rogen movie?
I didn't see it.
Yes, it was.
That was a Seth Rogen
Okay,
movie.
so were they prosecuted for murder? Did it happen in the United States?
I actually don't remember. So here's the deal. Yes, you would probably be prosecuted. I think there's a federal law against attempted assassination on the head of a foreign state.
But then Trump would pardon you.
Well, exactly, right? You could get pardoned very easily. Or there'd be such uprising for your release that they'd almost be forced to.
Right.
By the way, Jane Butcher says Little Kim has a daughter, which I did not know that.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that would shake out.
Was the daughter in porn?
Not yet.
Okay.
We have an executive order through that. That was signed by Gerald Ford, EO 12333.
He's not in power anymore.
Ask me how I know that.
How do you know that, BZ?
Because strange shit
Stays
floats
right in there.
around in this fetid cranulum up here.
Oh, that's okay. I don't blame you. I get a lot of strange shit that hangs out in mine,
yes.
too. I can remember passwords to things that I haven't used in 10 years, and I can't remember the password I need for my computer tonight. So, it happens.
Hey, don't feel bad. I don't know how to click unmute.
Unmute. That's my favorite. That was hysterical. So it's one of those things, Clint, where you're not supposed to make fun of the elderly, right?
Right.
Right. So I felt bad when it happened. I wanted to make it bigger than what it was, so I moved the mouse around a little bit.
Yeah, to make it look you're really you're busy.
And then I reached up and hit F6, and the mute button went off.
Right.
And, yeah.
How does Rodman keep getting in and out of North Korea?
They portrayed you as a wizard, a god.
A wizard.
How does Dennis Rodman keep getting in and out of North Korea?
How?
Yeah. Yes.
The guy is magic.
How does this work?
Well, same way. He's the worm.
Because they're the same batshit crazy as.
Yeah, but he gave him the art of the deal from Trump. The last trip he went over there, like a week ago, he brought like 10 copies of the book to give to the North Koreans. He's out of his mind. By the way, if you look up at the screen,
I was going to say, are you going to talk about that?
Not everyone in YouTube. Oh no, you know what? Everybody in YouTube will be able to see this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put that little bad boy right up here real soon. Because Clint, I think we all need this. I think this needs to happen at Freedom Fest this year.
Yeah, what is it?
Hold on a second. I'm getting to it. You're going to love this. Anyone on YouTube can see it right now. I'm just going to expand this little bad boy out here. There it is. And this is on, okay. Wow, this is really, really just making...
Convoluted.
Wow, lightning.
It's making me work tonight. I don't like it. Okay, here we go. This is the Kim Jong-un romper.
That is awesome.
I just like that name, romper. Does that mean that it has a square flap in the
That's
back?
$80. Are you kidding me?
$80 well spent. So
Does it have feeties and a flap?
Yes.
No, it's shorts.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Hold on, I'm going to put it up so everybody on YouTube can actually see it now because
it's shorts with short sleeves.
There it is. Oh, where is it? Here we go. Coming right up for you. How would you not want to own that? Really?
Everyone in chat says yes, they would love to own it.
But would they wear it?
Hell yes, we would at Freedom Fest.
At Freedom Fest.
In stock, ships from USA. That says a lot right now. You don't even have to wait from North Korea
whatsoever.
Wow.
You can get it right here, right now.
Right here, right now, baby. Oh my God, the Kim Jong-un romper is just heavenly to me. I just love it.
How did we not think of that?
Dude, right? So that's right up our alley.
I am so disappointed in us
crazy
right now.
Shit that we would come up with.
So disappointed in us right now.
Well, what about the guy that
And we
came up
missed
with
it.
bots dots?
Dude.
A circle, a plastic
You mean
circle.
raised lane delineators?
Put down in a highway, and the dude makes millions.
Millions. Well, look at these friggin' fidget spinners. Have you seen these?
Oh, yeah, the ones high in mercury and...
Well, everything else.
Oh yeah, like our light bulbs.
Let's throw that aside for a second. You have these little skateboard ball bearings
Mm-hmm.
shoved into a piece of plastic and a piece of plastic that is pretty much cut evenly.
Mm-hmm.
Sell it for $10. Kids are going batshit crazy for it.
Hey, listen, we had pet rocks.
Who had pet rocks?
You're-
There were no toys in your era.
Listen, your generation.
We had rocks. Those were toys.
Yes.
Your generation really has no excuse for anything.
Yeah. Here's BZ's generation. There was no Toys R Us. There was no hobby shop.
Nope.
You carved sticks with a pocket knife.
right.
Or, a sharpened rock.
And I walked to school 20 miles in the snow.
Both ways.
Uphill, both directions.
Both directions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen, I'm only telling you the truth.
With rabbit fur shoes.
That's right. That I had to knit. Listen, I lived in a cabin that I was born. I was born in a Clint. This is for you. I was born in a cabin that I helped my father build. That's how long ago it was.
Did your Uncle Tom help build it?
Yes, he did.
Did he own it?
We called it Thomas. We called him Thomas. Uncle Thomas.
So it was Uncle Tom's cabin?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
What?
What?
I'm just going to act like I'm working over here for a minute. That's fine.
What?
Kim Jong-un diapers. That's a great idea out of the chat
That's
room.
a good one.
Yeah. Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
I have Obama toilet paper.
Dude, how about this? So we talked about the burrito truck that we'd make out of an M-Wrap.
Yes.
So we were talking about the burrito shooter.
Bomb-proofed burrito
Hang on,
truck.
you didn't.
Yes.
Wait, was BZ not with us on that?
Great.
BZ wasn't with us then. Oh, BZ.
Gentlemen, Sean, Clint, I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
a
thank you.
bomb-proof burrito truck.
Yeah.
That's exquisite.
Yeah, thank you.
But we were going to put a burrito shooter on the top.
Yes, we were in place of the cannon. It was
Place
going to
of the
shoot
cannon.
kind of like you do at sporting events with the hot dogs or the T-shirts.
Except you can't do it now, because if you do that, that's cultural appropriation.
No. We're still going to do it. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not
But
politically
how
correct.
about this? What if we set up a target of Kim Jong-un? Or we get Sacco back and put him in the Kim Jong-un romper,
Yes.
and you shoot burritos at Sacco.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I like
We
it.
can make a fortune, and it would fit on the aircraft carrier that we're going to buy.
Exactly.
So while we're at sea hunting pirates, because we got a
Under our letters of mark.
right that we agreed we need to get,
And we're going to get it from Congress.
the downtime would be to shoot burritos at
Yes.
Kim Jong-un.
Right.
I don't understand how this would not be an amazing getaway. And then when we find a pirate, everybody gets a 249.
Yeah.
You run to the end rail, and whoever gets them gets the prize,
Right, which is a burrito.
which will be a burrito.
I'm still back at the MRAP. I want to drive the MRAP. Okay, so if you
Yeah.
have a spot for me, I want to drive the MRAP.
I actually
Look, we actually all have a role, and we talked about this. You can drive the MRAP. I think
you.
Sacco was going to be the one to drive it anyway. So
Right.
and then Sean is actually an amazing chef. Like literally, Sean is an amazing chef for those of you that don't know. So Sean is going to come up with all the secret burrito recipes and be the grill guy.
Yes.
And I'm going to be the gunner and shoot the shit out of people with burritos. As a matter of fact, that's we have no window where you come up and order your burrito. You literally have to order the burrito and then wait a half mile away for us to launch it
And
to
you can only order it through the gun port.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Or you couldn't call in? You couldn't be a mile
Like-
away, call in,
Like an airstrike.
and then
Oh, give us your coordinates.
yeah, you'd give folks
Right.
your GPS coordinates.
We map it.
and then you enter the coordinates into
No, I do math.
Ooh!
I'm not a Common Core student.
Okay,
Hey, listen,
wow.
we're going to separate ourselves.
That's the impressive part.
Right?
Right there.
I'm going to do math.
That's impressive.
I like it.
Get the proper angle.
Yep.
And dude, that's going to be our shtick.
That will be our thing.
And if we don't get it within 5 feet of you, you get it for free.
Right. And our slogan will be, let Sackhead Clint blast you in the face.
Right.
Yeah. I think that'll be great.
5 feet of meat or it's free. That's... what?
I like it. I like it.
We shoot our foot long deep. Hey, speaking of taco trucks, I saw a picture of one the other day that had the best advertisement in the world. It said something to the effect of, absolutely amazing organic tacos made by pure Mayan virgins. Or Juan, whichever one's available. So there's a website called printedtp.com that we could get anything that we wanted on toilet paper.
Ooh, that's nice.
I'm just saying.
Is it 1 ply or 2?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
I don't think so.
It does. You don't want to end up with a pokey through.
What is wrong with you?
End up with a finger in your ass and a hard on.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
What? I was just thinking out loud.
It's a family show.
Since when?
It's a family show.
Since when? Since when?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, we've had a lot of great ideas through the years here. You know what else is a great idea? It's going to Freedom Fest 2017 this year. Freedom Fest X at the beautiful Paris Resort, Las Vegas, July 19th through the 27th. FreedomFest.com. SHR Media
I had a great time last year.
is your code for your discount, so make sure you check that out as well. Tell them we sent you.
Is that for the discount for the autographed pictures, or
No, autographed pictures are not being discounted this year.
because they're still free, right?
Are they still $75 or did they go down to $70? I don't remember. And what are you going to charge if they're framed?
152.
152
All right.
if they're framed, but free if they're not. Right?
Right, and I will do custom pictures for $300 a piece, close on.
Right, and $325
Close off.
off.
Absolutely.
That's cheap at twice the price.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? You're getting a lot for it.
Oh, hell
No,
yes.
literally, like got to use a wide angle lens and everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah. No, you're getting a lot out of it. I'm just saying.
yeah, or a lot in it. Either way,
Whatever you want.
Right.
Whatever you want. And, the terms are debatable.
or a lot in you. Sometimes
Probably not.
alcohol wise.
That's 100% true.
First, and what? You're nodding your head. Yes. I wonder if. Do you think we're going to get propositioned again? And if so, should I pull the same shenaniganry
Yes. Yes.
ooh, I like that word, shenaniganry.
on the air? Should we see if we could get this to happen live on the air?
Yeah, we could try to do a remote where we get you to walk through the casino.
Right.
On the phone.
Yeah.
And see if we can get a prostitute to approach you again.
Yes.
And you this time not throw a rock,
Right.
because that's your thing.
That is my thing.
He's like, you remember The Simpsons with whacking? It's
my shtick.
with the snakes.
Right.
That's him with rocks and hookers.
It's actually a game that a lot of our SHR and Sackhead fans love to play.
Absolutely love
Yeah.
it. It's a beautiful game. Yeah, no, that would be absolutely astounding. Just to see the
And just the look of the reaction is
yes,
amazing.
It's beautiful.
I need to get like a hidden camera though to record it live.
I'm really excited for Freedom Fest this year.
I am too.
I can't wait to go.
I am too. See, I'm excited to see all of our friends. Haven't seen any of our friends, Valerie, Mim, in a year, obviously.
Yeah, our friend Noran returns.
Yep.
This year, I spoke to her today. She is actually back helping with some media coordination stuff, so it'll be great to see her again this year. And the Scousins are just amazing people, great family, brilliant. Such a great festival that they put together every single year. You get some amazing people that show up. And for us, I mean, yeah, the headliners are great to listen to, and the speakers are amazing. And obviously, where else are you going to go and have a glass of bourbon with Steve Forbes?
When that happened,
Freedom Fest.
That was absolutely so cool.
That was so fun. I still have the Booker's box up there signed by Mr. Forbes. He signed it for us. It was great. But my favorite part about this event is talking to the libertarians.
Yeah, look,
and engaging with them and having a blast.
Republican Liberty Caucus.
Yes.
I hope should be that Matt and I.
Yeah, RNC.
Great Look, I love talking with him. His interviews every year with us have been tremendous. I'm hoping he's going to be there again this year. I haven't talked to him, but just a lot of good people. The young authors.
Who was that kid that was 18 years old? Straight out of high school.
Hold on.
And already he's a financial consultant and writing books and giving speeches.
I just listened to his interview the other day, actually, at work. I was hanging out, and I was going through some of our old stuff, and, what was his name?
I can't remember his name, but he was one sharp kid.
Yes, and he made the rounds that weekend. That was truly watching an 18-year-old in Vegas. His eyes were just aglow nonstop. Like, he couldn't believe he was there, and he was a lot of fun.
He was.
It was Wyatt.
Yes!
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now. Freedom Fest Broadcasting on our Spreaker page. Wyatt,
He was like our little brother.
Yeah, Wyatt just hung out with us forever. And but he was so cool for a young guy. Like, he was so intelligent, had so much information.
He had his act together and he had plans. He had very serious plans for
and I hope
expansion, his life. I mean, this
Wyatt
dude had
McKee. Wyatt McKee was his name. I hope he comes back. I would love to see where he's at this year. Because, like you said, he's going somewhere. and
He's going to Vegas.
He's going to Vegas, baby. And we will be too.
Anybody in the chat room going to be there?
I don't have a full roll call yet, to be completely honest with you. I know I have some people on social media that we've met before that are going to Freedom Fest this year, some of our old friends. I know
Not going to be the same crew?
Nope. The Free State Project's going to be there again, which I love talking to them.
Professor going?
I've heard yes and no. He hasn't reached out to me directly.
I don't know. The professor has been sort of shady the past, maybe 6 months or so.
Yeah, he's
been shady his whole life, folks.
He's
but,
been here, he's gone,
love him.
he's here, he's gone.
Love him.
Love the prof.
Ken says he wants to go.
Yep.
And I met Ken for the first time last year. I met Dr. Jones last year, the underground professor. That was a whole lot of fun.
Well, and on top of that, then you have just the Vegas crowd itself that just wanders through randomly.
Yes.
That has no idea that it's a libertarian event, because unless you go into the specific rooms and the specific speakings and breakout sessions, etc., you don't need a pass to get into the general area. You can just stroll in. So you get people coming from the pool asking, how many times were we talking to people who are hammered out of their minds looking for another casino at our booth last year, talking about politics, and they had no idea what it was. And by the end, they were completely interested. It was awesome. It was a great event, and it's run by great people, and we have a lot of fun there. I can't wait to do it. Can't wait to do it. Less than a month?
Yep.
Yeah.
Less than a month, we'll be at Freedom Fest. So
And we'll be staying at that site, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think we're staying on site in the hotel.
Yeah, we'll be close.
Man, that makes things easier instead of staying at another motel when it's actually at the place where you are. Oh, wow.
Well,
grand. And it's this year at the Paris.
Hang on a second. I got a well.
We're making the change.
We're making what change?
We might stay at Bally's this year.
Really?
So I got some 411. The convention center for Paris. If you don't know, Bally's, Paris, Hard Rock, they all have that back hallway kind of thing where all the restaurants are and you pass through. So the way the convention center at the Paris is set up, it's almost closer at Bally's.
I did not know that.
Yes, I got that 411 today, as a matter of fact.
Really?
I did not know that either.
Now, when you went out from Planet Hollywood last year,
Yes.
you went out into this big corridor.
By the Batmobile.
Lots of shopping.
By
and
the
stuff like that.
Batmobile.
Yes, by the Batmobile. And yes, you were right, easy.
Is that kind of like the Paris and the Bally's? In other words, there's a whole bunch of shops and stuff like that,
It's
too?
all connected. It's their way of getting you down the strip without having to go outside.
In the 175 degree heat.
I'll have you know, I spent 5 days inside the building, and I never once during that time put one toe outside until I had to leave.
Yes.
And I was
blame you.
happy for it.
So the funny part is on that back hallway. The last time I was in Vegas for a convention a couple months ago, I was into that back hallway, And I can remember I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone about Rob Gronkowski, and I don't know why I remember that, but that's the topic that we were talking about. And I was supposed to go left to go to my convention. I accidentally went right. And it doesn't end.
You ended up in that Area 51.
The MGM.
Okay, perfect.
Wow.
Couldn't be further away from where I was going. And I kept saying to myself, this doesn't seem right.
I thought you were going to say that you ended up in a bad bathroom in the Chevron station in Bakersfield.
That would be even better, as a matter of fact.
I went to a bathroom going down Highway 99. Had to really piss.
And folks, thank you for listening to the second.
Stopped in Bakersfield at a Chevron station, walked into this bathroom that was the worst one I'd ever seen in my entire life. If you've ever seen a third or a fourth world or even a fifth world bathroom, that's what this was like. It was so bad that as I was urinating, I was afraid that creatures would crawl forcefully up my pee stream and try to kill me. That's how bad it was.
What's that animal in the Kandiru?
That's right.
The Kandiru.
Yep.
Folks, that's it for the Sackheads.
How the hell do we end a show like that?
You know why? Because we can.
Live on the SHR Media Network.
That's why I come here.
We're so glad. You know what, though? If that couldn't be any more of a Sackhead style story, though.
I'm right.
It fit anything.
Right.
Nothing. It fit nothing. We'll be back next Wednesday, 8 on the East Coast, 8 on the West Coast, right here on the SHR Media Network. Make sure you check out all the other great shows.
You know who I got tomorrow night?
FreedomFest.com.
Tammy Jackson.
Promo code SHR Media. Tammy Jackson tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 for the Bloviate and Bobcat Saloon. We will see you next week.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Hack news. Hack news.
Radio.
Hack news. Hack news.
Radio.
Sack.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.